Welcome to Be Encouraged. Today, we're diving into real talk with Dr. Lynnane George, an aerospace educator shaping the next generation at UCCS, and the incredible Carolyn Riker from YWAM Emerge, who helps people step into freedom, joy, and purpose.
My first job was working at Wendy's, and then I realized working at Wendy's was too hard. I was going to become an aerospace engineer.
So they had all of their lettuce. It was under contract, and then when all of the restaurants closed, and they really just had an urgency to give it all away. So they set up a lettuce giveaway. So for 6 months, they gave away all the lettuce. They had signs in the yard that said, romaine, calm, romaine lettuce, romaine lettuce help you. And they had signs that said, let us pray for you.
A lot of times, today's school systems teaches kids that engineering and math is hard, and you just can't do it unless you're really, really smart. Well, I was able to do it. If I can do it, anyone can.
I want to encourage every single person that you are an image bearer of the Most High God. But if you look at everybody with a treasure hunting attitude, then you're going to find the treasures that everybody has inside of them, and you might be the one that they need to call that out of them.
How many times have you heard about a aerospace engineer who flunked out of Wendy's?
Yes, got fired within a month. Oh my goodness.
So Dr. George is going to come on and talk about her journey from not making it in Wendy's, so she became a PhD in aerospace engineering.
Yeah, why not?
Why?
Because she could.
Exactly right. Yes, indeed. And Carolyn Riker from YWAM Emerge, I tell you, the heart behind the work that they do, and let us get it on, because she is going to really bring it. It's talking about how they manufacture and do lettuce.
Yes, and I loved her story about how her and her husband were in India with 5 kids.
5 children.
One still in diapers.
Oh my.
Incredible. I could never.
I could barely make it in America.
Right.
3 will do that look, right? So
exactly.
Indeed. Well, we got a great show coming up because these 2 incredible humans are going to be helping us unpack how science and ministry intersect.
Yes, if you've ever wondered how science and faith can both lead us back to our purpose, or maybe your purpose, you're going to want to hear this. This one's for you.
Yeah, guys, we got a great show coming up. Enjoy the show. Don't you think, Liz?
Yes, it's going to be fabulous.
Yes. Welcome, everyone, and Be Encouraged, Colorado's voice of growth and good. I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
And we are so glad to have you here. Today's show is sponsored by Crescio, who helps educators, ministries, and purpose-driven leaders use AI to streamline their operations, scale their impact, and free up time to focus on what matters most. So, visit them at Crescio.com to learn more and check out some flyers that we left for you guys today. You can take those with you as well, okay?
So today we are joined by 2 remarkable women, and they are shaping lives across Colorado and beyond. So let's jump in, Frank.
Why don't we just do that, Lise? We like to start here because what's the biggest challenge, ladies, that you've overcome in your journey?
Personal or
Yes.
nonprofit wise?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I guess I'll start. I was in the military for 20 years, and separating from the military was the hardest thing I'd ever done because I'd never known anything else. So that's why I started getting involved in the community. Is I wanted to give back to the community because the government had done so much for me. But going from a very structured environment to no structure at all was pretty difficult. So,
What branch were you?
Air Force.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go Air Force, baby. Yes.
I was a key spouse for the Air Force for 10 years. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I had the gun in my hand and I was overseas and he was manning.
Well, that's
Yeah. I'll bet.
given where you ended up, that might not have been a good idea.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was my personal story. But as far as Cool Science, we're a nonprofit and we do outreach for kids. And we try to get them interested in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and to make it just as fun as for kids as sports and artwork and things like that. So we have been through some ups and downs as any nonprofit does.
Let's circle back on that, Doctor, because we want to dive into that. But first of all, before this guy that's over 60 forget where I'm at, let me ask this young lady the challenge question as well. What are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your journey?
Well, in my personal life, I would definitely say, I think opening your hands and being really flexible with your dreams. I think I wanted to teach inner city for my whole life, and that was a great dream. I started out in Zion, Illinois, teaching inner city. I taught first grade, and it was amazing. And so then I had 5 kids, and I was like, I don't want to give these kids to somebody else all day, and that doesn't need to be anybody else's story. So I really did whatever we could. I tutored and nannied and did whatever. We're on children's ministry. And then 11 years ago, we stepped into some training programs. We went overseas. We were in India with our 5 kids that were 8, 6, 4, 2, and 6 months old. Wow. So I think when you talk about what were some challenges, right? There are some big challenges to be like, I thought my teacher hat was going to be my identity. So I think in opening that, it's been such an amazing growing experience that I never knew where I could be and all the places that I would get to experience and cultures, and it's been phenomenal. So now landing at Emerge as the nonprofit that we partner with and we work with, it's been so cool. In the last year, we got to have 700 kids through on field trips. I love being part of the Cool Science. They're phenomenal. And so it's been fun to be able to put my teacher hat back on, but also to say, okay, here's your dreams and gifts, and let them be used in all the different ways possible.
What was your name again?
My name's Carolyn Riker.
Carol.
Yep.
Yeah, I call my wife baby, so I don't jack. Right, so
Lynnane, Carolyn, Lisa We're all kind of matchy. They'll match you today.
Yeah. These 2 ladies, you can tell that there's sincere passion that's coming out of their hearts for the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Your turn.
All right, Dr. George, you ready for this?
I am.
Okay. What first drew you into aerospace and teaching? What truly lit that spark?
What truly lit that spark? Well, I think you've heard this story before, but my first job was working at Wendy's. And back in the days when they used to have the salad bars, right? So my job was to refill the salad. So they had these big these big buckets of salad dressing. So I'd been working there for about a month. They're like, you're good to do the salad bars. So I one of them was empty. So I pulled it out and I pulled this big fresh one in and I went kablunk.
Oh,
all over the place. And they weren't happy.
Yeah.
So someone came and mopped it up and everything. And then they're like, refill the salad bar. So I went to, and this one was like the oil and vinegar one.
Yes.
And I picked that up. Kablunk.
Oh, wow.
And I got fired. And then I realized that working at Wendy's was too hard. I was going to become an aerospace engineer.
Nice. I love it. So good.
What a story. Yeah, Carolyn, what moment confirmed your calling for ministry?
Well, my calling for ministry or my calling for this ministry?
Your calling for ministry overall first.
For sure. Well, 2 parts to the story. There was a teenager with a whole lot of attitude, and one of our old pastors walked by and he goes, "That's Carolyn. She's going to do youth ministry." And I said, I am. And so that's what started 23 years ago. And then I think being in a classroom, in a Title I classroom, that I said, man, I just want to love these kids and I want to love.
What's Title I? So people, it is clear for you.
Title I, sure. So Title I districts were where 90% of the kids were poverty level and below. And so they were there was a lot of government programs that would be available for the kids that were within our class. And so then in our youth ministry, we had 3 students that passed away in 1 year. And so I think my life call has just been, I want people to know that they are so loved. And when you know that you're loved, then you can be the aerospace engineer. Then you can be hosting the Be Encouragement. Then you can be anything that God has put inside of you. But right until you know you're loved, you're going to walk in all of this darkness. So I think, right, so to be able to work at Emerge, we always talk about, what do you have in your hands? And so so I think that's really where it started. So our bottom line is just, how do we love people?
Yeah. The scriptures add a little bit to say about that.
I know, sometimes you go like, well, that's fantastic. So we go back to 1 Corinthians 13, and it sure is another.
Yeah, I'm a recovering pastor.
Not just for sure.
Hey, Dr. George, you are so incredible, young lady. I'm so glad. I was so excited about having you on the show. Aerospace is high stakes. Tell us about a moment that tested you and how you navigated the space of aerospace. So couldn't make it at Wendy, so.
But interesting, you like us with our lettuce. Maybe we were connected from the lettuce salad dressing.
I got to think about that. I have a story about being in the military, but my aerospace story, I kind of ended up there by chance because I thought I was going into the Air Force, and everyone knows the Air Force is only about flying planes, right?
Yeah.
That's not true at all. Not at all. So when I was a sophomore in college, you might remember Challenger.
Yep.
The space shuttle that blew up.
Yep.
And what the Air Force had wanted to do up until that time was to put all of their payloads onto Challenger, onto the space shuttle. And of course, Challenger happened, and they're like, can't fly for 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. So they decided that they would put much of their resources towards rockets so that they could launch their own into space. Well, here I come along about that time. I'm a sophomore in college. And this was the Cold War. So what was there a lot of laying around? Missiles. So they decided to start sending people instead of on as much on the aircraft side to work on rockets and creating rockets so that they could launch their own assets. So it was really kind of by chance that I ended up working. My first assignment was Los Angeles Air Force Base.
Oh, my.
And I worked on...
That's such a thing anymore? Is there a Los Angeles Air Force Base?
There is.
There is.
Yeah. Space and Missile Systems Center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And they decided to put me on a program called the Titan IV, and that was an expendable launch vehicle. So when we launched them back then, they would launch once, and then the part of it would go into the ocean, and you wouldn't recover it. You would just put your satellite into orbit.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge, going from this small town Georgia girl to here. I didn't ask for LA, by the way. I asked for all the places close to home.
I didn't ask. Where am I?
Here in Colorado.
And they decided to send me to LA to work on this big rocket program. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that. But I persevered and overcame and ended up staying in for a full 20 years.
Yeah, was that Raytheon's missile?
No, that was Lockheed Martin Marietta at the time.
Martin Marietta.
I worked for Marietta.
I worked for Raytheon once I got out for 6 years. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know about rockets?
No, I don't.
So, Carolyn, a ministry can be life-giving, but it can also be heavy. How have you stayed encouraged through the hardest seasons in ministry? That's a great question. I think community is huge, and I think authenticity. I've been super blessed with some really key, not only mentors, and then I think it's really important, right? You always have people like above you, right? Mentoring, pouring into you. I think people that you're doing life with and connecting with, and then I think people that you're pouring into. So I think if you're missing any of those key structures, then you're going to crash and burn. like the rockets. We don't want things to crash and burn. So I think that's been the huge key for me. I've had incredible women and men that have poured into me over the years in different seasons, right? Whether I was a young mom or whether I was in new positions or new roles. And then I think just community to be able to do life with, to share life, to right, be the iron sharpens iron with one another, to show you where you're like, oh, there's some ugly in my soul. I need help with that, right? Right? Get that out of me.
Yes, exactly.
And then those people, because then if you have the people that are under you that you're pouring into, then you always want to be your best, right? You never want to multiply something that isn't good. So you always want to be, I think, growing and changing and being your best as you're mentoring others. So I think that's a huge way.
Amazing.
Your children are so blessed to have
I
you.
know. Well, you know.
How old are they now?
I have 5 kids, and they are 19, 17, 15, 13, and 11.
Oh,
Wow, every 2 years.
Go tour.
Yeah. Why are you on tour?
Very methodical.
Yes.
That we throw that in for free.
I'm getting embarrassed. I know.
Oh my word! Yes, indeed, Lisa.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. George.
How have you seen diversity in engineering evolve, and how do you help widen the door for students?
This is
Great question. To tell you the truth, a lot of times I went to Georgia Tech as an undergraduate.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's something like that.
At somewhere. Yeah, it worked out well though. But a lot of times I was the only woman in the class. And then I found myself teaching at the Air Force Academy in engineering. And a lot of times I was the only woman in the class and I was the one teaching it. And now I'm at the University of Colorado Springs. I'm a professor there. And it's just amazing to see all the young women and people of color and everyone very diverse in the classroom, because we're very welcoming of anyone who wants to get an education. Cool Science, we try to reach some of those groups. We never turn down a school that can't pay. So we only charge for what it takes, the supplies. But if a school can't pay, we'll do it anyway.
Wow, that's incredible.
Oh, my.
Yeah, what a community impact.
Yeah.
Well, we got to hear more about Cool Science in a minute. You know, my grandson just graduated from Colorado School of Mines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's a mechanical engineer.
Oh, nice.
He just got his first job, so he's adulting.
Yes.
Adulting.
It sounds good. When you can effectively adult.
That's something. I'm a mechanical engineer myself. And I always say, to be a mechanical engineer, you have to like to break things, which I was good at. That was a kid.
We saw from your windows.
Exactly.
And blow things up, which I'm not allowed to do today. So
Great.
that is a mechanical engineer right there. So.
In a nutshell, right? Yeah, Carolyn, you say love is the currency of heaven. How have you seen community plus love transform lives at YWAM?
Oh, that is a really fun question. So when we first started at Youth with a Mission, Emerge Aquaponics 5 years ago, it was during 2020, and we all remember what happened during 2020. So they had all of their lettuce. It was under contract, and then when all of the restaurants closed, they had all this lettuce. And so Josh and Sarah, who are amazing, who started the organization, they were like, okay, what are we supposed to do? And they really just had an urgency to give it all away. So they set up a lettuce giveaway. So for 6 months, they gave away all the lettuce. They had signs in the yard that said, romaine, calm, romaine, lettuce, help. Romaine, calm, and let us help you. And they had signs that said, let us pray for you. And so they suffered. And so it was this whole story. They didn't even know if anybody would come. They tried to push it out on social media, and then it snowed. And so then the first day there was cars backed up for a mile when we opened the gates.
Wow.
And so
I work at the farmer's market on Saturdays, and we are 5 years out. And literally every farmer's market, I have somebody who will hug me or cry or say thank you for what we did. It's been so fun to be the face of the ministry, to be in those places. And so community connections, I mean, people's stories. I mean, literally, I think the comfort of strangers, and we were giving hope, right? Because it's lettuce. I'm giving you bags of lettuce, but it wasn't lettuce. It was hope. People were crying as they like opened their windows. You know, people would pop their trunk because they didn't want to touch anybody. Right. We had our masks and our gloves and all of the things on. We had kids smiling and waving, and we had music playing, and we had a pull-off station if people wanted to talk or needed prayer. And those people that pulled off for those stories, I'm still in touch. We had a lady come recently who, there was abuse and there was suicide attempts that people talked about. There was, people lost their job, but then it was the bigger stories of not just losing my job, but, abuse in my home, or I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, or loss of loved ones. And so to be able to sit with lettuce in our hands to say, we're going to give you hope, but then to be able to share stories and to link shields with people's lives, it's been the biggest privilege. And so that was our story of when we started coming over to Emerge. Josh, our leader, had said, we have incredible engineers and people that I could never do what they do. Phenomenal, wise, brilliant people. And I'm phenomenal and wise and brilliant too. But yes, you are. Queen.
So glad you said that for a second. Because I can't get people to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes. Oh, no. So to be able to say, to be able to inhabit those spaces, to be able to be with the people side of things, to be able to draw people in, and just so cool with those community connections that we still have them, right? That I still get to connect with those people. I know the next parts of the stories, people that have been healed, people that have moved, people that are in, much better situations than they were in 2020. So good. Thanks for asking. That's fun to tell the story. Wow. Big heart.
Now, Dr. George, beyond equations and labs, what life lessons does STEM give students that transfer everywhere to values, leadership, etc.?
All of the above, really, because learning engineering is about learning to solve problems. And that's what we do every day in our lives, right? We solve problems. How do you get from here to, the studio today? How do we, work out a grocery list? So it's about solving problems in real life. So I think that's a big part of it. As far as overcoming challenges, that is engineering in itself. You got a problem, and a lot of times there's no clear answer on how to solve it in engineering. And you just do the best you can. And that's really what we do in life, right? We do the best we can with the resources that we have. And I think that teaches the kids how to grow up and to be responsible adults and contribute back to their communities.
I love that. And give them creative thinking, too.
Give them creative thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the arts part.
Yes, confidence. Exactly. No, when they're empowered to have those skills. Yes.
Dr. George has just really said that everyone's an engineer.
Yeah. Exactly. In their own way, right?
In their own way. Yeah.
Like Carol and I are different, but, I think we still accomplish what we want to do with our community outreach.
Yeah.
But I could not do what she does.
Right.
Right. Clearly, I can't.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn, are you ready? I'm ready. Okay. Ta-da! Or someone feeling stuck or far from purpose, what's one small first step they can make today? Oh, I was actually listening to one of your podcasts with somebody who did something amazing about marriage, and they had just said the just show up, and I think you had said that's what you say too. And
a Mora couple.
Yes. Yeah. But I think we say that over and over as we mentor, as we meet with people. I think if you're stuck, your first step is to take a first step in anything, right? I love the minimal mom. I don't know if anybody listens to her, but she always set a timer for 5 minutes and just do something. Because the minute that you can take a small step to do something, whatever that looks like, depending on what scenario that you're stuck in, right? Sometimes it's make the phone call, it's send the text to say I'm not okay. Sometimes it's setting the 5 minutes to sit down and push everything else aside. I used to set the timer and we'd do a 10-minute. We used to play superhero knockdown with one of my kids because sometimes I have kids with some intricacies and we had a lot of big emotions at the house and it felt overwhelming. But sometimes if you just let everything else stop for 10 minutes right. And I think it's that first step and you'll get the ball rolling. It's always the first step of whatever that is. If it's I don't know, there's an old book about eat that frog, like do the hard thing first, but if you can't do the hard thing, just do something.
Yeah. Yeah, get in motion, you stay in motion.
Yes,
Right? You know, here's something that I thought was very interesting, ladies, because I want you guys to unpack those spaces that you're in. But, you know, I'm hearing a thread as we're listening to both of you today, and science and faith. Would you say is naming the same truth in different languages? Science and faith?
Science and faith?
Yeah, maybe we're naming the same truth in different language.
Yeah, I think so. And I wouldn't even call it a completely different language, really, because I think the whole truth of giving back and helping people and loving people, I think that's, you know, both of what we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I've never
the same
heard
language.
engineers say they love someone before.
She can be your favorite engineer now.
You are not a favorite engineer, and it's not even close.
John's an engineer.
Well, she's still my favorite.
At least for the moment.
Wear the crown, yes.
She threw her husband in there.
I know.
What about my man?
Favorite man.
Oh, yeah.
You can be the favorite woman engineer. You can be the favorite man.
He's her favorite.
Yes.
Dr. George is my favorite.
He knows how to love well as an engineer. I'm just
Well, you got firsthand knowledge.
Yes, exactly.
Fair.
Well, some of
I
my...
have to be on tour.
I know. No. Sorry. You good? Where's that?
That will never leave me.
I know.
Whenever I see you guys.
Yes. Looking here, Colorado. Well, I must say, I would say the key takeaways for me, for you both, I mean, Carolyn and Lynnane, you guys are incredible women, so passionate. Your passion comes out to serving community and serving our next generation. What is your big takeaway of what you feel that you're giving to them?
Giving to them, you mean the children?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hopefully inspiration that they can be an engineer. I don't want, because go off a little bit on a tangent, but a lot of times today's school systems teaches kids that engineering and math is hard, and you just can't do it unless you're really, really smart. Well, I'm not that smart.
Yeah, you are. You're a PhD.
We don't. Yeah.
We don't believe it.
Trying.
But I was a little bit about my story. I was a first generation. No one in my family had ever been to college, and I was also the first to join the military. And I was able to do it. If I can do it, anyone can.
And the only woman in many rooms.
In many rooms, yeah. And that's why it's so nice. Yeah. To be in the classroom today is you can see those minorities come up and actually get passionate about what they're doing.
That's awesome. Well, that's awesome. You know, with that said, Lisa, and I saw where you were going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to sidetrack this conversation a little bit because we've had some great conversations around. Thank you for answering our question, first of all, and being, you just jacked up my heart. I'm useless for the rest of the day. So, but your program, Dr. George, that you're doing, explain that to people.
Okay.
What you're up to.
Cool Science is bringing the wonder of science and engineering to kids. And one of the principal ways we do that is to go out where they are in the schools and in the community. We have a big program coming up called the Cool Science Festival, which is 2 weeks of science fun for both kids and adults. And we kick that off at the University of Colorado Springs on September 27th.
Awesome.
You've been there.
I'm there. We come here, Emerge. We have a booth where they are.
Nice.
Give things away.
Yeah.
Wheel.
And I'm wearing the T-shirt from last year, and our theme last year was the periodic table of the elements. Sometimes we call it the periodic table of the elephants to get the kids engaged.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
And what we do is we invite the community to come out, whatever they would like to do for the kids, with the kids on that day. It's free for everyone, because we have some wonderful donors like the Mickelson Foundation and Quayside and many other organizations that goes into it. I have some of those on the T-shirt here.
Wonderful.
And
Did that Phil Mickelson?
Phil Nicholson.
Is that the golfer? The Mickelson?
no.
Oh.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh.
If they want to donate, you're totally invited. The more the merrier.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? Last year we had 8,000 people who came out to that single event. So we basically invade UCCS campus, and we just have fun activities all day long for the kids. It is
My kids love
to do.
Be sure to put the flyer information in comments once we post.
I will.
Yeah. Colorado Springs Cool Science. Yeah, tell us about your organization, Wendy.
So we are super blessed. I love partnering with Cool Science. We've been there for 2 years. So our big picture is addressing poverty with dignity. So Emerge Aquaponics exists to build aquaponics systems. If people don't know what aquaponics is, your farmer's market spiel is, it uses 75% to 90% less water, 75% less water than traditional farming, and then it gets around the fertilizer or the topsoil issue because we use fish with our water. So you can come learn all about that with us. We have free tours. We have field trips available. And then in 2020, they had built many systems in many different countries, but they said, let's be experts on one system. So they created the OASIS model, the open source aquaponics system. And with that, they have, I always say, like Legos, right? Because you want to be like kids and maybe grown-ups too, because you want to be like you built Legos when you were little. But so we have a build manual and an operation manual about how to build these systems. Aquaponics, you can grow not just lettuce. We grow lettuce because there's a great market for it here, and we have phenomenal lettuce for the last 2 weeks, USDA certified. But the big thing is overseas, you can eat the fruits and vegetables you grow. You can sell them at the market. So you're going to learn the science, you're going to learn the farming, and you're going to learn the business skills. So it's not the answer for sustainability, but it's part of a global answer. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What is that?
We haven't been there. Yeah.
So we're part of Youth with a Mission, but we're Emerge Aquaponics. We're in Black Forest, Illinois. Yeah, Emerge Aquaponics.
Illinois.
Oh, Colorado.
Okay. You're like Black Forest, Illinois. I'm like, what?
I've been married for 10 years, and I got up and I was like, I'm Carolyn Riker from Rockford, Illinois, and I lived in Colorado, and my name is now Riker. So we're in Colorado. We're 15 minutes from downtown Springs. So come up, take a tour. We have a farm stand on our property.
You're not on the YWAM. Are you at YWAM?
We're part of Youth with a Mission, so we also run discipleship training schools. We have interns coming from other countries this year to partner with what's happening this fall and doing aquaponics trainings as well.
Yeah, upwarding God's.
No, that was also Youth with a Mission, and we partner with them. So they're also YWAM. Yeah, where the Kairos coffee shop is phenomenal. If you haven't been there, go there.
Oh, it is.
But we partner with the business's mission out in Black Forest. So we have a 37-acre ranch, 22,000 square foot greenhouse. We have 40,000 heads of lettuce growing, 5,000 heads of lettuce a week that we harvest. That if you come on a field trip, you can harvest your own little happy lettuce and take it home. And if you come as a volunteer, we call you Friday Friends, because who wants to be a volunteer? But don't you want to be a Friday friend? Yes! Chippy's Donuts gives us free donuts because they love us. And then so then we harvest the 5,000 heads of lettuce with our friends that come. So we plant, we transplant, 2 separate transplant stations, and then we harvest. And I have some really fun retired friends. And so we put the lettuce in water to close the pores, but they always call us the dippers and the strippers. So that's part of our strippers. It's very fun to be out of my aquaponics with us.
But it's a Christian-based organization.
Only stripping lettuce.
Would you guys, real quickly, though, because the real heartbeat of our show, it will always be to infuse hope and encouragement in the community through the organic conversations we have. So, look at that camera.
Lynnane.
and encourage the work.
Okay, anyone can be anything that they want to be with, even if you think you can't, reach out to people and embrace them and learn what you can from others and give back to the community.
Yes.
Is the big message.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's phenomenal. Yes.
You too, Carolyn.
Great. One of my favorite teachers always said, this camera?
This one.
That camera. One of my favorite teachers always said, it's not how smart you are, but how smart you are. Or it's not how smart you are, but how you are smart. And so I want to encourage every single person that you are an image bearer of the Most High God. And so as we meet one another, that we don't have to walk into any room with comparison, that you can walk into every room loved, and you can meet every person and go, there's something phenomenal inside of them. And so if we look at everybody with a treasure hunting attitude, sometimes you have to hunt a little bit harder. But if you look at everybody with a treasure hunting attitude, then you're going to find the treasures that everybody has inside of them. And you might be the one that they need to call that out of them. So, yeah.
That's beautiful.
And can I add one more take on that? I had a teacher, speaking of teachers, I had a teacher once who told me, if you know something and you don't share it, it's just wasted. So share what you know.
Yes.
I love that.
Well done.
Yeah. Stay curious.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
But something new every day.
Every day.
Every day.
I've learned 8 new things with you and oh my God, girl. I hope my wife is watching this. We're sponsored by Brandon Kurt from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally. We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gaba?
And she's a beautiful artist, and yes, they have an amazing farm as well. But he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So they really are.
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Look up Planet Duck.
That's it for today's show of the Be Encouraged. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on LinkedIn, and join us in our encouragement conversation at beencouraged.net.
And remember, everyone, real talk, real growth, real Colorado. Stay encouraged.